Today's finally the day where we're going to start working on this Mercedes-Benz S600. If you watched my last video, you would have seen this car and I showed a quick look around of it. If you notice, I have different wheels in the rear than I do in the front, and that's for a good reason. This car has a noise that comes from the rear, so I wanted to eliminate the tires as being a factor. So what we're going to do right now is take this car on a road test, and I'm going to try to get you guys a audio of how that noise sounds like. So if you have an issue like this in the future, maybe you'll know for yourself. I don't know 100% what's wrong with it, but I think I have a pretty good idea. So with that being said, let's go on a road test. So I'm sitting in the back now because you mostly hear the noise from the back, like I mentioned. And once you go about 30, 35, 40 miles per hour, that's when it starts making that noise. So I don't know if the mic is picking this up. But you can kind of feel a rumble strip noise from it. I don't know how well the mic is picking it up though. With that being said, let's go back to the shop, take the rear wheels off, and see if we can figure it out. I put it in neutral so I can go ahead and spin the tires. So this side's definitely loud. Let's go over to the passenger side and see if this one makes the same type of noise or not. Let's spin the passenger side. Oh. Side for some reason is much harder to spin. Even though the driver's side spins easier, it sounds more growly, and I believe that's where the noise is coming from, inside the cab. Pads still have some life left on them. Nothing seems abnormal here. The axle looks okay. It looks okay even on the inside there. I don't know how well you can see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the caliper off, move it to the side, and then I'm gonna put the wheel back on with 2 lug bolts and spin it and see if we still hear that gnarly noise coming from the bearing or not. To take the caliper off, it's only a couple 18 millimeters, so there's one up here, one at the bottom. So let's go ahead and take this off as well, because I don't want the rotor to catch somewhere and create a noise that's typically not there. The whole point is to eliminate any possibilities that can interfere with the noises you're hearing. About 2 years ago, I bought these extra long snap-on or snap-off torque, and I'm gonna use them every chance I get, and this is one of them. I mainly use the T25 whenever I have to take something off, like a Mercedes door panel or a door handle. You have to use a long one, so that's mainly when I use them. And I want to be careful with this because I do not want to damage it. I'll be using this very large rubber mallet. Don't want to use steel here because I don't want to warp this rotor. If you're familiar with the newer Mercedes, and newer probably anywhere between, I would imagine 2012 and on, something like that, they have the electric motor. Most new cars have electric motor right on the caliper, but this car does not. This is some sort of electromechanical, because it does have the electric motor, but the electric motor is right over here instead of right by the caliper. So it's an interesting design. It still uses shoes. Instead of just using a motor to compress the pads, it still uses shoes. So a very interesting design, I must say so myself. Now let's get the wheel on. So I'm only going to put 2 lug bolts here, and now I want to go ahead and spin this and see if that noise is still there. Oh yeah, that sounds horrendous. Woo. There's no play left to right. Well, I guess there's a little bit, but that's because of the lug bolt. So let me put another lug bolt because I want to eliminate that being a factor. Okay, we have a bad wheel bearing. Everything else looks good. The shoes look good. Not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna take off the other side as well. If there's anything I need to update you guys on, I will do that. But for this one, I'm gonna put it back together for now. It is a couple days later and I have the new wheel bearing coming in today. Let's go ahead, take the wheel off. It's the same as before. We gotta take off the caliper and then we'll start disassembling the wheel bearing. Got the rotor off. We're gonna take off this ABS sensor. This right here is just a clip that needs to come out. We'll just pry carefully. There we go. Take that out. Get that out. So, and then thankfully, because this was a Florida car, look at that. Comes off. Absolutely no rust. We don't see this in New Jersey. That's new to us. That's alien technology. Well, I broke one of these springs. It's supposed to come out like that. This one broke. I was kind of fighting it for a while, but so I'll have to get a new spring kit. But let's go ahead and take the rest of this off. I was able to knock the axle out a little bit. I just used a punch like this. Boom, knocked that out. So now, if you look in the back here, I don't know how well you can see. My finger's right there. There's one. There's another bolt at the bottom. There's a third one here, and then another one on that side. So there's 4 altogether, and that's what holds the wheel bearing in place. The bottom 2 bolts are going to be a little bit harder to do, but we're going to get it done as well. This thing is already loose and I haven't even hammered on it or nothing. I haven't even gotten all the bolts off. That's ridiculous. That does not happen here. I gotta move to Florida, man. If everything comes out like this, wow. It must be nice. It must be very nice for it to be absolutely no rust on here. And this just popped out, just like that. That is insane. Wow. That's the noise we hear. And there is play as well. I've got this contraption right here. This is a hub grappler tool. It comes with a bunch of adapters. I got this on Facebook Marketplace for like 200 bucks, and brand new they're almost 600. So I put this adapter in the back here to push against the hub, and this one is pushing against the bearing assembly here, and then the hub is going to come out, likely with one of the races for the bearing. So we got to hold this side and spin this side, and this should come out. Okay, hold one, spin one. And it's coming out very easily. Just like that, we got this out. That's some very dry bearings in there. Everything looks intact though. Not missing any. It just shot. We made the relief cut, so now we just have to smack it a little bit. I finally got the race off, so I'm gonna be cleaning up the surface a little bit, make it nice and shiny so that the new bearing will slide in here very nicely. I just got the new wheel bearing. It came in with UPS, so we're gonna go ahead, put this beauty on here, and put this thing back together. I am excited. It should go like this. So that right there is the contraption I've made to get this thing installed. So let's try it out and see how this is gonna work. There we go. Perfect fitment. No issues. Spins buttery smooth. So now I'm just going to clean up this face here, and we're going to start the installation process. I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on the edge here. Click, 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 click it. Click, 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 click. Digital torque wrench. I'm getting the axle nut on. I'm still gonna torque it to specification, but I'm just gonna get it on until it bottoms out. Okay, it's bottomed out, and that's gonna help me to put on these arms here. So I had to take this heat shield back out because this bolt over here is a pain in the butt to get in. It doesn't fit through that hole, and the arm in general is a pain in the butt to get in. So, but we finally got it in there, and all is well. The heat shield is easy to remove, just 4 torques. So let's keep on rocking and rolling. The torque spec for this is 350 Newton meters. My torque wrench only goes up to about 340. So I'm gonna go as high as it can and a little bit more. Oh, what the heck? There we go, 349 Newton meters. That thing is tight. These parking brake shoes are a pain in the butt to do, but I finally got it in. Everything looks good. So I just got to put the rotor back on here. I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on here, and we'll be ready to put the wheel back on and take it on a road test. I just drove the car right now and it's absolutely smooth. We went up to about 60 miles per hour and now it feels like a normal S600 again. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, all the good things. In the next episode, we're going to be doing some maintenance, oil changes, filters, cabin air filters, and things like that. So if you want to watch that, stay tuned. I'll see you guys on the next one.